In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 AI automations that I've used as a business owner that easily save me 5+ hours a week. And these automations are amazing because in a business, you need a way to fulfill on what you sell, i.e. fulfillment. You need a way to attract people to your business to build an audience, i.e. marketing. And then you need to sell to that audience, i.e. a sales system. And so you can use these automations I'm going to share with you to build your own automations to use as inspiration, or you can just copy these same ones for your business. And if you want to just grab these make.com blueprint templates and a whole bunch of other automation templates, I want to invite you to check out my school community called the AI Playbook Premium. As you can see here on the screen, we've got tons of content in the classroom, tons of done for you AI automations and workflows, prompting workshops, quick wins with AI and automation, and just an amazing community of online businesses, all looking to leverage AI to work less and profit more in their business. This is all about streamlining your business with AI. I'll link to the community in the description below. And if you're new here, my name is Rick Mulready, and I run a multi-7-figure online business for the last decade. And today I help online businesses use AI in their business in order to be way more efficient and increase profit. The first automation I'm going to share with you falls under marketing because we need a way to attract people to our business. And this is an automated lead magnet workflow. This is going to help you create lead magnets from start to finish, all automated and using different AI models like OpenAI and Claude. So let's take a look. All right, so this is actually a 4-part automation here in make.com. The reason it's 4 parts is because we are approving each aspect or each phase, if you will, of the lead magnet creation workflow. The trigger for this whole automation is this lead magnet creator form that has been created in Airtable. So answering 3 different questions, 3 very basic questions. What do you do in your business? Who's your audience? And what's your offer? Because a great quality of a really good lead magnet is that your paid offer is the logical next step after your lead magnet. So once you fill out these questions here, it goes over into the automation, which you see beginning here with the trigger of a webhook. Now, when that form is filled out, then the webhook kicks off here. That information is poured into Airtable, which I'll show you here in just a second. And then that information is brought into OpenAI. And so what it's doing here is we've created a prompt that is going to run through ChatGPT 4o. And this is generating the audience challenges and desires. So it's taking the information from that form and doing research and coming up with a bunch of the challenges and desires, because this is the first step. A lead magnet should solve the biggest pain point for your audience. And so that's what the OpenAI module here is doing. And then it's bringing that information, the results of that prompt, into Airtable and then letting you know in a Slack channel. So it's slacking you a message to come over to Airtable and approve which of the challenges and pain points that you want to focus on for the lead magnet. So let me take you back over to Airtable. Let me show you this real quick. So this is the full view of this automation. And as you can see here, the audience or the business activity, personal finance coaching, that's coming from the form. The audience is coming from the form, and the audience details are also coming from the form. And then as you can see here, it's generating the common challenges and pain points. So you basically need to read through these options that ChatGPT has created for you and choose which of the pain points you want to focus on for your lead magnet. So essentially you just say, okay, I want to focus on time management, for example, and then you go over here to the problem to focus, and then you paste that in there, and the pasting in there is what kicks off the second part of the automation. And then in part 2 of the automation, the exact same thing is happening in terms of it's being triggered when the column gets updated, like I just showed you, where you choose the pain point, and then Claude here in this module will generate lead magnet ideas based on the pain point that you have chosen. Again, you'll get a Slack message with the different lead magnet ideas. And then once you choose which lead magnet idea you want to run with, You will copy and paste it just like we did into the Airtable. And then that kicks off part 3 of the automation, which gets triggered when you choose the lead magnet idea that you want to run with and paste it into that cell in Airtable. Same exact process here. Now it's going to generate the complete lead magnet. It's going to write out the entire lead magnet for you in this module. It's going to generate lead titles and descriptions. And again, once you choose which one that you like, the title and description, then it kicks off part 4 of the automation, which then takes all the information that's been generated up to this point and generates landing page content for you. So it'll write a landing page, an opt-in page for the lead magnet that you have chosen, taking into account the pain point, the title and description, the entire lead magnet itself, and it'll write copy for you so that you can get going and promote this lead magnet as quickly as possible. For the second automation, we've already got our lead magnet, right? So now we need to be able to get content out there to be able to attract people to the lead magnet and build our list. So this is the social media AI system that I like to say creates content for you while you eat breakfast. So let's take a look at the automation here. It looks like a fallen over tree. I get that. And it's really not as complex as it might look. But what this is doing here, so I often find that we get our best ideas when we're not at our laptop, right? We are eating breakfast, or we're out for a walk, or working out, or whatever, washing the dishes, just get out of the shower, whatever it might be. And so we want to capture those great ideas because oftentimes you have great ideas for content. So what this does here is I want you to take out your phone, create a voice memo for yourself, just brain dump your content ideas that you have. And then what you're going to do is you're going to Slack yourself that audio message into a specific Slack channel. Now, the reason I didn't do a record an audio directly in Slack is simply because there's a 5-minute limit on the audio that you can record in a Slack channel. So this way, if you record a voice memo on your phone, you can just talk and just brain dump all of your ideas into the voice memo and then send it over to Slack all from your phone in a matter of like 3 clicks, okay? And so now what this automation is doing is it's gonna create a transcript right here. So OpenAI and the Whisper model is going to create a transcript from your Slack audio message. And then from there, based on the type of content that your idea reflects, it's going to create that specific content for you. So as you can see here, I have filters throughout this entire automation so that this automation isn't creating all of this content for you based on your brain dump, right? So this automation allows you to create a podcast outline, a YouTube script, Instagram posts, tweets, LinkedIn posts, Facebook posts, TikTok scripts, or it'll create a summary. But oftentimes we don't want to create all that content because maybe your idea is about a YouTube video that you have a great idea about, right? And you only want it to write the script. So you could say in your message, I have a great idea for a YouTube video, and then go on about your idea. So when you use that specific keyword, that YouTube keyword, it will only create the YouTube video script for you. Now, let's just say you have an idea for a podcast episode and a TikTok video. So you could say in your voice message, you could say, I have a great idea for a podcast episode and a TikTok video. And now this automation is only going to create a podcast episode outline for you and a TikTok video script for you. So this automation is really powerful because it's going to create the type of content that you specifically want based on your ideas that you're brain dumping into your voicemail, into your voice memo, and then sharing it with a specific Slack channel. And then at the end of these arms of the automation, if you will, it's sending the information that it generates both into an Airtable table and then into a Google Doc. So you designate whatever folder that you want to send this information to and to create a Google Doc, and then it will create a separate Google Doc for each piece of content that you are writing, all on an automated basis. This is a super powerful automation to be able to create content when you're away from your computer, when you're coming up with the best ideas that you have. This next automation is what I call the offer creation workflow. We already have our lead magnet. We already have content creation automation. Now we need to be able to sell something to the audience that we are attracting, right? So this is part of our sales system in our business. And this whole AI automation is kicked off similarly to the previous automation with an Airtable form. So what you want to do here is you want to come in here, complete this little bit of information here, your niche market, your product service description, what do you want to teach in your offer, and then choose the type of program format, the offer, whether it's a course, membership, coaching program, or mastermind. And then the completions to these answers, again, are what trigger the entire automation. And this is a 3-part automation, sort of similar to the previous one. Let's take a look. So here's part 1 of the offer creation workflow. And again, it's triggered when you fill out that form in Airtable. That's what this webhook is. And then the Claude module here is identifying your target audience. So it's doing a deep dive and research into your target audience based on the information that you've put into the Airtable form. It's updating Airtable with that information. And then in the next step, the OpenAI module, ChatGPT is doing market research for you based on your target audience. And again, the information that you've input into the Airtable form. So it's doing a deep dive market research for you. Again, updating Airtable. And then based on all this information, now it's going to be generating 5 different offer ideas for you. And then it will be letting you know, it sends you a message in Slack along with a link to the Airtable, said, hey, that says go over to Airtable and choose which offer idea that you want to move forward with. And once you choose that offer idea, then it kicks off part 2 of the automation. And then in part 2 of the automation, this is where we're creating the offer promise. I've been coaching online business now for almost 11 years. And without a doubt, the number one reason why more online business owners aren't selling more of their offer is because they cannot clearly communicate what their offer does. How does it specifically help people? i.e., what is the promise of your offer? Most people cannot clearly articulate that in like one sentence. So that is exactly why I've added that into this automation. And that's what part 2 is all about. So again, this webhook is reading the approved offer idea that you've done in the previous step, taking that information from Airtable, and now Claude is generating an offer promise and transformation. It's giving you a bunch of different ideas. Again, those ideas are being sent over into Airtable. You're being sent a Slack message to go into Airtable to choose the promise and transformation that you want to go forward with. And then once you've chosen the promise and transformation that you like the best, that triggers part 3 of this automation, which is the final part of the automation. And here in this last part of the automation, we're defining the outline of the offer. We're identifying the pricing strategy that you can go to market with, and then also creating the content plan, i.e. the lessons and modules. For example, if you've chosen to do a course, it's going to write out the content plan for creating that course. So it's doing all this work for you. And again, it's being kicked off when you approve from the previous step, when you approve that promise and transformation. It's going to create the offer outline here by Claude, updating Airtable, same thing. It's going to do a pricing strategy research here, give you a deep dive pricing strategy, and then create pre-launch emails for you. It's going to write all the emails for you to sell the offer. And then, like I mentioned, it's going to create that content plan for you and then update Airtable, updating you in Slack that all these things are done to go over to Airtable and check all this work. You've just created an entire offer workflow in literally a matter of minutes. And if you were to do this yourself, this could take you multiple weeks. I mean, easily 2 weeks to do all these things, to be doing brainstorming, to come up with offer ideas, fleshing out emails, fleshing out pricing strategies, etc. You are literally saving weeks with this automation. The 4th automation is all about selling the offer that we've just created. So we have a lead magnet, we have a social media content system that's generating content for you. We have an offer creation workflow. So we've got our offer. Now we want to sell that offer. And I have a webinar planning, complete start to finish webinar workflow that is completely automated here in Make. And it begins again with another form being completed by you in Airtable. So it asks you a whole bunch of questions that you're going to want to be able to be clear on. Again, this is another great exercise because if you don't know the answers to these types of questions, it's really good to get clarity. And so once you fill out this form, and again, the table in Airtable is being updated with all this information. When this information goes into Airtable, it kicks off the automation with the webhook. So let's take a look at that. And then you'll go into Airtable and choose the webinar topic idea that you like the best. And then when you choose it, that's what triggers the next part of this automation. So for example, it'll generate webinar topic ideas like you're seeing right here. In this case here, it's generated 7 webinar topic ideas. And as you can see, they're pretty fleshed out ideas. So let's just say that you choose this one, you like this one the best. So you just simply copy and paste it and then go right over into the approved webinar topic column here. You would paste that right in here, and it's the act of pasting that kicks off part 2 of the automation. And then in this step of the automation here, I've included a prompt with Claude to review the webinar outline that Claude created in the previous step. So just to kind of make sure and make suggestions, hey, maybe we are missing this or that, and make some suggestions for improving it. You could also add in OpenAI here. So have ChatGPT do the review of the outline. And again, all this information is being plugged into Airtable, and you're being notified that there is something new to review via your Slack channel. And then in the final piece of this automation here, the webhook is triggered when you choose the recommended changes. So if you like the changes that were recommended in the previous step in the automation there, what Claude is going to do here is going to generate an updated outline. So taking the original outline, taking the changes that were recommended, combining those changes, and write you a final webinar outline. And then we're going to move here into the OpenAI module. By the way, again, each time a step is happening, it's updating Airtable. And then in the OpenAI module here is generating PowerPoint code. So it's generating the Visual Basic code that you can take and input directly into PowerPoint, and it will take your outline along with the Visual Basic code that's being generated, and it will create the presentation for you, the webinar for you, inside of PowerPoint. Over here, if you're a Keynote user like I am, then OpenAI will generate an Apple Keynote script for you to do the exact same thing. So it'll give you the Keynote script, which you can put into Keynote along with your outline. It'll generate the webinar slides for you. And again, the Keynote script and the PowerPoint code script is updating in Airtable. The other thing that's happening is it is writing your webinar follow-up sequence. So it's taking the webinar title and the other information that has been generated in this automation, and it's writing your complete follow-up email sequence after the webinar during your cart open period. It's also writing your webinar invite emails to invite people to your webinar. And then it's creating marketing assets for you like ad copy. So if you want to be leveraging ads to advertise your webinar, this step here, Claude is writing all the marketing asset copy for you. And again, you're being notified in Slack that all this information is ready for you to review. You've just created your entire webinar funnel in a matter of minutes. If you were to do this without automation and AI, this would literally take you weeks. I mean, I've had webinars take me 2 weeks before, and that's working all day, every day for 2 weeks straight, just putting the webinar together. With this automation, you're doing all that, generating ideas, generating the outline of the webinar, creating the webinar, writing the emails in a matter of minutes. This is a huge time saver for you. And then for the 5th automation, we have our customers now. Now we need to fulfill and onboard them into the business. So this automation that we're looking at right here does exactly that. Now, I have it set up so that when a Stripe payment comes in, that's what really triggers the rest of the automation. You can replace Stripe with any kind of CRM, or if an invoice, however you invoice your clients. For me, when I do AI consulting with clients, it's over email. We're talking back and forth. I meet with them on a call first. Once we decide that it's a fit to work together, they get a payment link, and then they just pay it via Stripe. And then that's when the Stripe payment is made, it triggers the rest of the automation. So their name gets added to my CRM. And then the Claude module here will write a welcome and next steps email. So that has a prompt right inside it, which also pulls in the Calendly link. And then that writes the email and sends it to my Gmail as a draft, because I always like to look, whenever we're producing anything with AI, it's never copy and paste, right? We want to edit and review something before it goes out to the public. And so that's why I have the email that's generated via Claude sent into a draft folder in my Gmail. So I'll review the email, make any necessary edits, and then send that email over to my client. And then finally, since I do have Slack conversations with my one-on-one consulting clients, a new Slack channel is created. Again, when the Stripe payment comes in, that trigger also creates a Slack channel specific to that new customer. And then the invite for the Slack channel is generated also. And that Slack invite also is referenced in the welcome and next steps email. So it's a very simple but really powerful automation here that's doing the onboarding process all on an automated basis, so that all you're really having to do is sell your offer, whatever that offer is, and then review the email before it gets sent out for the onboarding call. All right, there you have it. 5 AI automations that will save you a ton of time in your online business. Again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, if you want the make.com blueprint templates for all these automations and a whole bunch of other automations, I want to invite you to join us inside my AI Playbook Premium School community. I'll link to it in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.